The New England Patriots proved in Week 8 that they're a little tougher than a lot of us gave them credit for. As for the New York Jets, well, they once again proved that when you're a Jet all the way. Stick around. You're about to be locked into this Victory Monday episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful. Thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage. Hopefully your first listen today on this Victory Monday here on the pod. I'm your host, Mike Debate. I cover your New England Patriots for the Patriots country. Reach out to me. Let me know what's on your mind on X at MDABATENFL. Please follow our account on X as well at LO_Patriots. And of course, today we are basking in the glow of a New England Patriots victory to bring them to 2-6 on the 2024 NFL season. In the process, they may have just ruined the Jets season. How much better can a Victory Monday get here on Locked On Patriots? Well, it does get better because we are welcoming in one of our very favorites, the veritable Don of Locked On Patriots, my good friend, the legend himself, Thomas Murphy. Every single week, you give us tribute with those monster keys to victory. And the Patriots turned quite a few on Sunday, and that's why they are enjoying a 25-22 victory. And we're going to get into all the ups and downs, the ins and outs. But first, we'd like to remind you that today's episode is brought to you by GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Don Murph, the New England Patriots were inches from the goal line. One last chance to punch in the game's winning score. Pats proved to be tough enough to beat Aaron Rodgers and those stumbling New York Jets. They earned the victory by a final of 25-22 after Rhamondre Stevenson is able to punch it in and then get the end zone reception for the 2-point conversion. Pats improved to 2-6 on the season. That ties them with the Jets, who are now likely on the outside looking in for the playoff push. It's so sad when that happens, isn't it, Murph? It's just really, it brings a tear to your eye. I know it hurts you, but I think we would have been well within our rights today to introduce each other as Wisdom and Counsel, because we came within an eyelash of predicting that final score. Yep. Folks, check out Murph's Twitter feed. You're definitely going to want to see it. Likening us to Zach Morris and AC Slater of all the comparisons. I got to love that. All our Gen Xers out there that listen to us are going to love that reference.
They're going to dig that one.
Bottom line, the Patriots showed toughness, and maybe this week we can lay off all of that soft talk and get back down to business, because as much as we're enjoying this win, and believe me, folks, I am definitely not going to rain on anyone's parade on this Victory Monday. Yep. There are still a lot of things the Patriots need to work on, and we'll get into those in just a moment. But I really want to give a lot of credit to the Patriots down the stretch. This was a game that was plagued by a lot of wide receiver drops. Yep. There were still a lot of deficiencies, both on offense and on defense. But when this team needed to be tough in the closing moments of this game, Jacoby Brissett, who came in, the only hope, by the way, after Drake Maye goes down, help me, Obi-Wan Jacoby. You're our only hope. And he actually, I think, did that today. He stepped up big time, especially on this game-winning drive. Finds Kayshon Boutte, who had his own issues in this game with drops, but came up big when you needed him to come up big. And then the Patriots feeding Rhamondre, who looked fantastic in that game-winning drive. Murph, a lot of this came from the monster keys, airing it out and use the ground game to grind things out into the red zone. Were you pleased with the way the Patriots turned the monster keys in this victory?
I was pleased. I wasn't ecstatic. You know, a lot of things could have gone better. But they used the pass to set up the run. They put any fears in their rearview mirror and let Drake cook to start this game, and Drake used his feet quite a bit to do some of that cooking. And then they dialed it back a little bit in the second half. I think at the end of the first half, they made a good decision in getting off the field. You know, I know a lot of people out there really hate that, but they did it the right way. they ran the ball 3 consecutive times. So I'm talking about after Drake went down and
Mm,
Jacoby had to come in just to get back into the locker room and reset and see what
mm,
we're going to do in the second half now. We're not going to make a stupid mistake before we go into halftime. I thought that was great. And but no, the keys were turned, the Jets were just 4 of 10 on the day on
mm,
third down. Brilliant.
mm,
Pats ended up 7 for 15. Key turned. The Jets got flagged for 55 yards and 8 penalties. The Pats 5 and 50, and some of them were quite questionable. Quite
mm,
questionable. All
mm.
right. The Pats set up the run with the pass. We just went over that, and they ditched the shells on defense, and they played a lot of man. You could see that when discount double choke Aaron Rodgers was playing well, the Patriots were in zone. I called for no zone whatsoever. It was a no-fly zone with with man coverage, and we were giving out game balls later, and we'll get into that. But yeah, I was quite happy with the fact that the keys were turned, the engine started. They didn't get it into third gear, shall we say, but they did quite well in second.
Yeah, they did do quite well. This game could have been a disastrous game with the injury to Drake Maye and him going
Yep.
down in the second quarter. Folks, all indications are that Drake is turning the corner toward getting better. We
Right.
don't know when he'll come out of concussion protocol just yet. We'll get into that injury, how it happened, and what could possibly be in store for the Patriots in subsequent days and maybe even weeks here on Locked On Patriots in just a moment. But I still want to go ahead and give the Patriots credit where credit is due. I've got Obi-Wan Jacoby obviously up on the placard for the benefit of those of you listening to this podcast, not viewing it. Yeah, I'm having a little fun at Jacoby's expense, simply because I like the rhyme, I like Star Wars, but bottom line, he did come in as the elder statesman here and I think provided stability. I think he absolutely galvanized this team, put it on his back, and allowed this team to be able to play a little more freely. Now, did Jacoby play a perfect game? Absolutely not. There are still measures of his game that need to be elevated, as with all New England Patriots, especially the wide receiver core, who logged only 78 total yards as a unit and
Yep.
did contribute for quite a few drops.
They caught 7 passes, they dropped 5.
Hmm.
Okay? That's not a good day, kids. It's
No,
not a good
it's
day.
not. It isn't. And again, I think that final drive definitely helped motivate the Patriots toward a
Mhm.
step in the right direction. Again, I think what it comes down to, Murph, is utilizing that passing game to get the ground game
Right.
into a position where you could win them the game. And
There you
all
go.
I could think of was your monster keys throughout that entire game winning sequence. You got City So in there as the backside guard.
Yep.
He's going to pull. Wasita Smith just joined this team on October 15th
Right.
and he's playing your fullback role. He's your jumbo tight end, so to speak, but he's playing the fullback specifically on this sequence. That leads the way for Rhamondre, clears the way, and gives him a good opportunity to use that leverage to get into the end zone. He punches it in for 6. Now, that may have only been inches, and I've seen a lot on social media, seen some people in the
Yep.
past say, okay, well, all you have to do is lunge forward and get there. Murph, you know as well as I do,
Right.
especially having played offensive line, that blast play, which
Yeah.
is what it's called, by the way, folks, that blast play fails as often as it succeeds in the NFL. So I want to give a lot of credit to Scott Peters and the line for executing that one well. They haven't had a whole lot of bright spots
No.
in the red zone this year. That was one of them.
You don't get down, you don't get low, you don't take somebody's legs out. That spot is not open, and there's no room for Stevenson to get in. All
Hmm,
right, and he was just in. Okay,
exactly.
he was just in. We were inches away from another. Oh my God, here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
And but no, through determination by all those guys and everybody that we just mentioned, we end up coming away with the victory. And yes, they did use the keys to set all that up.
Hmm,
Brissett was 5 of 9 for 53 yards, including the throw to Keishon Boutte for 34 on that last drive and getting the Patriots down there. I think it was beautiful. It was great play calling, a fantastic pass, and yes, I love when Sauce Gardner gets burned. Okay, his entire rookie season, all we heard about was Sauce and Sauce and Sauce, and all you saw on tape was Sauce committing PI and no flags being called. Um, Today he ran into somebody that was a little bit quicker than him. He ran into a couple people because Rhamondre made him look kind of silly too, and it was fantastic. It was. I had said stay away from Sauce Gardner. Well, they didn't do that, and Kayshon Boutte made him, look like watered down sauce. He
Mhm.
really did. And if that had been the other way around, and Gonzalez had given up that play, the whole world would have been all over him. We'll talk about
Yeah.
Gonzalez in a little bit, I'm sure.
Absolutely. We definitely are, folks, because we will talk about the defensive keys that were turned, especially one young Christian Gonzalez, who I
Yep.
think had a very good bounce back game,
Yeah.
reminding everyone just how good this kid really is. Once again, not perfect, folks, but
No.
great enough to be able to get the job done. Right now, that's exactly what the Patriots needed. But, Murph, I think we would be remiss if we didn't at least address why Drake Maye did not finish this game, why
Right.
Jacoby Brissett came in and was the savior for the New England Patriots. 18 snaps in the first half for Drake. He
Yep.
started to look really, really good, running it in for 17 yards, giving the Patriots their first touchdown.
I
That
need
was
the flip.
beautiful. It
I
was
need the flip.
absolutely, that was just absolutely beautiful in the way that he picked up the spy, spotted
Yep.
the open area on the right hand side, and ran it. He did not
That's
hesitate.
it.
This kid showing wisdom beyond his years. Yeah, the Patriots got a keeper at the quarterback position. There's no
They do.
question about it. But scrambling for an 18-yard gain, it looked
Yep.
like another huge moment for the rookie. And then he gets hit in the back of the head by Jets linebacker Jamie Sherwood. Ran through 3 Jets tacklers to
Yeah.
get to that level, Murph. Really a very
Looked like he was going down and then didn't go
yeah,
down and got himself another 10 or 12 yards there and paid the price for it. And
yeah.
and that's okay. And I don't want to hear, folks, that it was a dirty hit.
No, it wasn't.
It was not a dirty hit.
It wasn't. That was a
It
clean
could
hit.
have been flagged for sure because it was
Yeah.
helmet to helmet. It could have been, but it was not a dirty hit. This guy was just out there playing football. Drake slid, and his momentum took him right in there. Like I said, it should have been flagged.
Yeah. It
I'll
absolutely
give you
should have
that.
been flagged.
I
No,
will.
yeah.
Absolutely, positively, there should have been 15 yards tacked onto that, but this was not a dirty hit. This was not Junior diving at the knees of Tom Brady.
Yeah. I mean, when you go back and you look at it on second watch, third watch, really, I think I saw it when it was on the first watch that it
Yeah.
wasn't a dirty
No.
hit. No one's accusing Jamie and Sherwood of anything of that nature. I do agree that the helmet to helmet should have been called because that's the rule. That's
Right.
how it should have been. I could look at the officials at that point that need to do a better job. But I also find some Patriots fans criticizing May's decision to run there rather than stay in the pocket. Folks, there wasn't anyone open. I
No.
think Drake did exactly what he
Yep.
should have done. The only thing that I take umbrage with, and I think it's a lesson, unfortunately, that the kid is going to learn the hard way, and I don't mean to sound heartless when I say this, but he slid too late to avoid the hit. And that's something that young quarterbacks have to learn for themselves.
They do.
You just don't want to see them learn it this
No,
way,
folks,
Murph. It's,
you wanted a 2020s playmaker. You got one. You ended up getting one, and these are the things that go along with that. Is the fact that, and one of the reasons that we didn't want him playing, out of the gate like so many other people had called for. So maybe he could learn a little bit. Maybe he hasn't learned enough yet, and he probably won't for a couple 3 seasons. With this particular instance, but yeah, the kid went out there. He saw an opportunity to make a play, and he went for it. And there was nobody back there. He was just, if he had stayed back there, he would have thrown the ball out of bounds or taken a sack.
Yeah, without question. And again, folks, it's unfortunate that it did happen the way it did, but kudos and credit to Jacoby Brissett for being the
Yep.
consummate professional, coming in, playing with a lot of poise, playing with a lot of class, and handling the whole situation very well. Ultimately, that's all that matters.
Right.
It's going out there and making sure your teammates still believe in you and they're going to play hard for you. And Gerard said that when he spoke to us after the game and said the guy showed resilience they've developed over the past few weeks. Really proud of them. There was a lot of noise and a lot of chatter. I'm very appreciative of just their attitude and professionalism on a daily basis. That's what you want to hear from your coach. And I think that's exactly what Patriots fans, Patriots players, ownership, media, whoever surrounds this team wanted to hear, that unified message coming from the New England Patriots. And they got it on Sunday.
Right.
And also, folks, something to at least give you a glimmer of hope. I'm not saying it's going to be this week against the Titans. I think that might be a little over aggressive. But according to Gerard Mayo, Drake Maye wanted to get back in there at halftime. Obviously, being the competitor that he is, this kid can't wait to go. Gerard did remind everyone there is a protocol. He will go through that this week. but they can't wait to get him back on the field. So for those of you that are wondering about Drake Maye's future and what he's going to do here on the field, yeah, as soon as he can get back in there, he's going to be ready to go. But Patriots were able to pull out the victory, only their second win of the season, Murph, but it felt bigger, and it definitely had a detrimental effect on the Jets, which we said we really, kind of like. Bottom line, the Patriots did achieve this victory, Murph, because of their offensive output, but I thought the defense stepping up in this game was a huge reason why the Patriots were able to pull out the victory. Murph and I are going to talk about the defensive monster keys heading into this one and the ones that were turned that meant the most to this New England Patriots team. We're going to discuss that and more when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues, a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, when you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team to help you do it faster. Here's the best part, folks. They help you do it for free because LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. And on LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Listen up, Locked On listeners. When it comes to daily fantasy sports, Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. And what I love most about Prize Picks is that it puts its members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. And when you sign up today, you get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use the code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup when downloading the app today and using the code LOCKEDONNFL. Prize Picks. Run your game. Pats fans, thank you once again for joining us here today on this Victory Monday episode of Locked On Patriots, basking in the glow of the Patriots' 25-22 victory over the New York Jets at Gillette Stadium on Sunday. And of course, we hope you are making Locked On Patriots your first listen on this Victory Monday. If you are, a tip of the cap to all of you everydayers out there who continue to make Locked On Patriots your first daily stop for Patriots coverage. We implore you also to make your second listen our good friends over at Locked On NFL. All of the NFL's biggest storylines brought to you by our network of analysts that you can find only here on the Locked On Podcast Network. And joining me here today to help break down the Pats' victory over the Jets. Yeah, you didn't think I wasn't going to invite him on this show. He loves beating Gang Green, and that is my good friend, the legend himself, Thomas Murphy, who just happens to be the keeper of the monster keys. That's right, Murph. You are the key master. I'm not the gatekeeper, but you are the key master, and you are here to lend your wisdom and counsel when it comes to those monster keys being turned. Murph, offensively, the Patriots definitely gave the fans at Gillette something to cheer about on Sunday for the first time in a long while. But defensively, I thought is where this team really stepped it up. I thought they showed their toughness. I thought they showed their grit on the defensive side of the ball. Last week, when we talked about the monster keys heading into this matchup, you had talked about selling out to stop the run. The Patriots clearly made it a point to try to get that running game in check. Still yielded some yards, but held it in check when it mattered most. In your estimation, what did the defense do? How did they turn those monster keys to victory this week, Doug?
Well, they did what I asked them to do. They got into man and they sold out. An extra guy there in the box to spy and hit holes. They kept a good pad level. These guys, there was
Mm,
gap integrity this week. Nobody was nobody was freelancing and nobody was overplaying any of the runs. They didn't get caught um, overextending themselves. Um, they made tackles for the first time in weeks.
mm,
Okay, I haven't not seen the numbers of yards after contact yet, but they're going to be phenomenal compared to what they were doing just a few weeks ago. In the first matchup, the uh, the uh, the Jets ran for 133 yards. Um, Braylon Allen had a long of 10. Breece Hall had a long of 10. Aaron Rodgers had a long of 11. Those are numbers that are going to play into ending up, what was it, 24-3, or
mm,
29-3. And today that did not happen. Breece Hall carried the ball 16 times for 80 yards. He got off a 16-yard run, but for the most part, it was never game changing.
mm.
I don't remember him moving the chains at all. Braylon Allen only had 32 yards on the field. He did get a touchdown by rolling over the entire defensive line to get into the end zone. It's just like he's on top and he just rolled over into the end zone. And but otherwise, no, they sold out and stopped the run. They made this team one dimensional. They put it on the old man's arm, and the old man could not do it.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because the Patriots definitely learned their lesson from the first matchup. And if you go back and you look at what they did in that loss, that 24-3 loss to the New York Jets last month on the 19th of September, played about 40% of their passing downs in split safety
Yep.
coverage, 7 dropbacks into cover 2. Rodgers took them apart in that regard. That's 11 of 13, 115 yards. And on extended dropbacks, he went 4 of 5 with 71 yards, and he had over 4 seconds to throw on
Right.
average. When you give Aaron Rodgers that type of time, he's going to look like Aaron Rodgers of old.
When you
What the
allow him to get out of the pocket and do those kind of things, that's what's going to happen. This week it did not. They
yeah,
contained him in the pocket. They kept good pad level. They didn't give him any escapes. They got their hands up, and they got out of those cover 2 shells that he just ripped them apart.
bang.
They got into man and said, "Go ahead. You're gonna beat us, man. You're gonna beat us underneath. We're gonna make tackles and drag your men to the ground."
Exactly. Single high, cover
Yep.
0, and
Cover 0.
they were able to hold him in check. And the other thing that I think that they did a very good job of was preventing him from getting those extended plays. A
Right.
lot of those that he got in the first matchup against the New England Patriots at MetLife, Patriots didn't give him the opportunity to do that this time around. So I think a very good defensive strategy, a good step in the right direction
Yep.
when it came to what DeMarcus Covington and the game plan that he put together. So I think, like you said, better rush containment. They deserve a lot of credit for that, selling out to stop the run and utilizing that pass defense in a more effective way to contain Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
They did all that without Kyle Duggar, which I thought was very
Yeah.
impressive.
Christian Ellis
What
had a fantastic game.
he had a fantastic game.
Minus the PI call that ended up
Mm,
putting the Jets down there at the goal line. It was really a beautiful day for Christian Ellis out there. He's
yeah,
been getting more playing time and more playing time, and he's doing something with it.
absolutely, without any question. Huge fourth quarter sack for
Yeah,
Christian Ellis.
third down sack, and it ended up pushing the Jets out of field goal range, and they ended up missing a 44-yarder. Yeah.
Yeah, really, exactly. And I think really taking advantage of the fact that Greg Zuerlein is having his difficulties right now as well. But I again want to come back to the secondary. You mentioned Christian Gonzalez earlier.
Yeah.
I thought he did a phenomenal job, whether it was Devontae Adams or whether it was going in against Mike Williams. He did a great job. The safeties I thought did a nice job keeping Devontae in check at times in red zone coverage.
Yep.
Garrett Wilson drawing the Joneses. Marcus I thought had a very
Right.
good game. When you look at this secondary, how big was their performance considering they didn't have Kyle Duggar in the lineup?
I think it was phenomenal. It was huge. Gonzalez in the first game shadowed Garrett Wilson, who ended up having himself a hell of a day today because Gonzalez was over there on Devontae Adams. He shadowed Adams for most of the afternoon. Adams didn't have a catch, not
Mhm.
one catch while Gonzalez was on him. not one. Well, we're going to look somewhere else. And
Mm,
they did. They moved the ball in other ways, but not against Christian Gonzalez. Marcus Jones. That you can say that the Jets ended up, you know, taking care of business when they were throwing at Marcus uh, during the day. It's hard, and it's
mm,
hard. When you are not the number one um, uh, cornerback on the team, and you're asked to bracket, or help or marginally disrupt
mm,
the type of talent that young man is. It's not an easy day, but you
mm,
pick your
that's right.
poison. You really do. And like I said, the only positive yardage that Adams got during the day was when the Patriots were in zone.
Mm, absolutely. And again, I think it's just a testament to that secondary, how well their coach, whether it be Mike Pellegrino or Brian Belichick, you got to give them a lot of credit for really taking this unit and moving them forward. There have been tough moments for the secondary this
Could have
season.
used a
There have
little
been
more
good
Jonathan
moments.
Jones.
Yeah, I agree. And Jonathan has been having an up and down
Yeah,
season. There's no question about it. But when he needed to make plays out there, I did
yeah.
remember, you did see him go out there and make plays. And speaking of making plays, you mentioned Marcus Jones earlier. Marcus may have delivered the turning point in this game,
Yeah.
folks. Yeah, I'm talking a huge monster punt return. I know it excited a lot of Patriots Nation, but was it the Monster Keys turning point? Was it that moment that Murph would go over and hand Marcus the game ball? Yeah, we're going to discuss that. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm not going to steal Murph's thunder. We're going to talk about that and more when we wrap up this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast, a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On listeners, we've all been there. You want tickets to the big game on the gridiron, or maybe you want to check out some early action on the hardwood or on the ice, or simply be there when your favorite music or comedy act comes to town. Well, Game Time is your best destination to help you make your memories. Game Time is the fastest and easiest method I've ever used to buy tickets. And Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out all of the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I especially love their zone deals where you pick the section and Game Time picks the seats for big savings. So don't delay, do it today. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Locked On NFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. So again, create an account and redeem the code Locked On NFL. That's LOCKEDON NFL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Patriots fans, thank you once again for joining us here on this Victory Monday episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast. Patriots defeating the New York Jets, grounding the New York Jets 25-22 at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts on Sunday. Patriots moving to 2-6 on the season, dropping the Jets to 2-6 on theirs, and maybe even out of playoff contention. There were plenty of great moments on the field for the Patriots on Sunday. Of course, the game-winning touchdown,
Yep.
the game-winning two-point conversion, Drake Maye's 17-yard touchdown run. These moments are
The
going to
Jets just
galvanize.
stepping all over themselves.
Exactly. The Jets burning through
Yeah.
three timeouts,
And not
inexplicably
and
burning
not
through them.
using one at the end of the game when they're going for
Exactly.
a 2-point conversion of their own. No, we'll
Right.
just back it up. That was
Yep.
dumb. That
Yep.
was dumber than dirt. Oh my God.
Exactly. Exactly. And it cost them at the end. I mean,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers completes a pass. Who knows if you have
Yeah.
a timeout to call in that area? Maybe he could have got them into field goal range. But again, Murph, when you're a Jet all the
Get all the
way.
way from the first fumbled snap to the last bungled play.
See, this is why we've been doing shows together for so long,
Right.
folks. That's why I love the man. He always hits it on cue. But we digress, Murph. We still have a game ball to hand out. Well, in
Yeah.
this case, we're not going to call it a game ball. We're going to call it a Monster Keys turning point.
Okay.
You always lay out an impeccable blueprint for the New England Patriots to achieve victory each and every week. I truly believe, and I've said this several times, folks, you turn Murph's Monster Keys, you go to the top. You
Yep.
don't turn them, you never heard from again. The Patriots turned more than they left unturned on Sunday, and lo
Right.
and behold, they come out with a victory against the Jets. But there are always turning points, always moments of the game that really elevate beyond the rest.
Right.
When you look at this game, what was your Monster Keys turning point at the point at which this game became winnable? I leave it to you, Don Murph.
Flip the field.
Mm,
Flip the field. That doesn't just come off the leg of Bryce Behringer, but it comes off of the legs, arms, and brains of guys on punt return teams. And Marcus Jones, while he had a bad day in coverage, he had a fantastic day as a special teamers. A 62-yard return to set up the Patriots on their first drive. Yeah, first drive in the second half, and get to the Jets' 26-yard line. 5 plays later, Rhamondre looked fantastic for the first time in this game. Well,
he
not the
did.
yeah, he got it in. He got his first touchdown of the game. That
Mm,
was the turning point of this game. The Jets had their own opportunity to do that. Back in the first half. They had a 40-yard return, and after the Patriots were three and out,
mm,
and the Pats stepped up and stopped them.
mm,
And that was fantastic. Jets couldn't do it.
mm.
So tip of the cap to Jonesy there, and thank you very much. And you get the turning point of the game.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. As a matter of fact, I
Not
wouldn't
my
even
game
try.
ball, but turning
Yeah.
point of the game.
Turning point in the game, absolutely. I agree with you because I think he does deserve it. Look,
Yep.
it has been tough for Marcus Jones the last year and a half.
Mhm.
He sat up, last year, obviously going down with the injury.
Right.
This year, coming back, knowing that you needed to step it up, hearing a lot of the noise that the Patriots needed additional corners to come in and help Jonathan Jones. A lot of people wanted to move John back into the slot. They wanted someone to move onto the opposite
Me,
side of the perimeter. Yeah, and
I was one of
Marcus.
them.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think a lot of people can blame you for that. It's a logical want and need. And, Marcus heard that too. There's no question about it. You know
Oh,
he
sure.
heard that. And I think he's making strides each and every game to
Yep.
be a better corner, to be a better fit in that slot. But one thing I don't think anybody questioned was this kid's ability to return.
Right.
He has an uncanny knack of being able to see the field and hit holes and seams, and really, I think, be able to command the field in the
Yeah.
return game the way a lot of elite returners do in this league, both past, present, and who knows, maybe even future. But also want to give an awful lot of credit to Marcellus Dial,
Yep.
Jermichael Hasty.
Yep.
These guys, even
Michael
though Sean,
Hasty. Oh my God, that
what a
block!
what a
What a
block.
block!
It was even called out on the CBS broadcast to show you just how good
Yeah.
it was. Patriots usually don't get those types of call outs from the color commentators. They got it
Yeah,
on Sunday.
that was a Floyd Edelman type block
It
right
was.
there.
It really
If you
was.
guys all remember that a few years back, and it was really beautiful. It was a completely clean hit. That Floyd hit right now would be flagged, but
Mm,
because we don't really play football anymore.
mm,
But it was phenomenal. I
yeah.
said it right then and there, and yeah, Mike's right. They a little bit after I said it, yeah, they threw it out there on the CBS broadcast.
Yeah, exactly. They did. Sean Mathis had a nice little block in that one as well, really helping to
Yep.
spring Marcus down the sidelines. Marcus, after the game, said, "I should have scored. I really owe those guys
Yeah.
something." I think he's being a little hard on himself. I think he really made a great move. Maybe you can make the argument he could have, but he definitely gave the Patriots enough to really
Short
set that
field.
play up. And again, your short field, you said it perfectly. 5 plays to punch the ball in the end zone.
Yep.
Patriots take a 14-13 lead, and all of a sudden that game seemed not just winnable, but it seemed like they were taking control of the momentum.
Right.
They took their home field back from the Jets, and when that happens, you can't ask for more. So, Murph, before we take our leave of this one, I know you love to hand out those Monster Keys turning points, but you also love to hand out a game ball as well. If you're giving one out in the locker room after this game, who, in your opinion, deserves that honor for the Patriots' 25-22 victory over the Jets?
Yeah, I'm giving it to Christian Gonzalez.
Mm,
I am. What this kid has done, what he's been able to do, bouncing back from a tough game over there in London, he deserves the game ball. It was not an easy, um, uh, it was not easy to pick him. Christian Ellis had a fantastic game. That third down sack, which pushed the Jets back into missing a 44-yard field goal right after that. Got him really close, but I mean, Gonzalez was just there. all day long. Once again, shutting down one of the premier wide receivers in this league. They chose to put him on that side, and it worked. It did.
Absolutely.
He shut down the receiver that is more dynamic and can make more things happen than anybody else on the field.
Folks, the New England
Yeah.
Patriots now have an opportunity to build on some positives and make a difference heading into week 9. But bottom line, folks, we are going to continue to enjoy this New England Patriots victory, 25-22 over the New York Jets.
Oh,
Murph and I are going to continue to enjoy the fact that we called this one within a point, and we're kind of loving that as well. But most importantly, my friend, thank you so much for joining me today,
happy.
for lending your wisdom and counsel and your monster keys, which I am happy to see were turned to victory. Before I let you go, please let everyone know out there where they can reach out to you, where they can interact with you, and what you got marinating in Murph's kitchen this week.
We got marinating in Murph's kitchen right now. There's a pot roast in there, and I'm just enjoying the World Series so far. I'm glad Ohtani is going to be back in the lineup for Game 3.
Absolutely.
You know, I might have a piece or two on that, and what we just talked about. I'm shuffling through the free agents that are coming up that the Red Sox probably aren't going to sign. So I'm doing all this work for nothing again, and but other than that, check me out on Zitter at TMurph207. Stop by, drop me a line. I interact with everybody.
Absolutely, folks. And again, anytime Murph puts pen to paper, voice to microphone, it's appointment listening and viewing, it's appointment reading, and you can always catch Murph each and every week here, sometimes multiple times per week, to lend his wisdom, counsel, and monster keys exclusively here to Locked On Patriots, and we appreciate him for it. And folks, bottom line, we appreciate all of you, each and every one of you. A special tip of the cap every day to all of you everydayers that make Locked On Patriots possible, but a huge welcome to all of you casual listeners, and of course, our first-time listeners as well. We encourage you to stay locked into Locked On Patriots and appreciate you making us part of your daily Patriots coverage. In the meantime, on behalf of my good friend Thomas Murphy, I'm Mike Debate, reminding all of you to stay safe, to stay well, to be the change that you wish to see in the world. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow on Locked On Patriots.